get more on what is, without doubt, today's biggest story by a country mile. And it's a turning point in the country's migrant crisis. And it's, of course, asylum seekers face being kicked out of the Bell Hotel in Epping, perhaps within 14 days, after the local council won a temporary and historic High Court injunction blocking migrants from being housed there. Let's cross directly to Epping and speak to the Conservative councillor, Holly Whitbread. Holly, a pleasure to have your company. No doubt we've seen jubilant scenes there on the ground in Epping, but is the battle just beginning? A lot of people telling me in the area they now fear this could be HMOs coming at them.
Good evening, and it's really good news for the residents of Epping Forest this evening, and a message to the government as well. And the council chose to take a slightly different approach with legal action in going for the hotel owner on a planning point, and that's proven to be successful with the interim injunction granted, which will see the Bell Hotel closed in 14 days' time, hopefully. So this is really positive news for the people of Epping. What I would say is there's talk of HMOs, and one point I've made throughout is not for the people of Epping or the district council to come up with solutions for housing for this illegal immigration crisis. It's up to the government. Of course, the use of HMOs would be absolutely wrong as well, and I think there's actually planning points that they could be challenged on too. It is just wrong, and this is the case in Epping, and why as a council we've opposed it from the very beginning, and when it was open under the last government, my government as well. It's not right to have undocumented males in the middle of a town, steps away from houses and a local school, and that's why we fought it, standing with and alongside the residents who also wanted it closed down.
And Holly, we saw some astonishing scenes, of course, in the past few weeks, where the police were walking in, stand up to racism protesters and shipping them out in one of those riot vans we can see there. And in many senses, Epping became an epicentre of the country waking up, seeing, particularly, I would like to say through GB News, the full reality of what's going on here. Outsiders, agitators, the far left being shipped in, shouting fascist scum off our streets to your constituents. And I think the people now, the public, are totally awake to this. And I would say Epping has been an epicentre of that national awakening.
I think we certainly have been leading the way. I mean, as a district council, we've been calling for the closure for some time, and it was the awful incidents which happened from residents of the hotel with the alleged sexual assault, which really kicked this into motion. And as a council, we've been doing all we can democratically and diplomatically to really try and pull the levers and see what we can do and stand side by side with those peacefully protesting, and actually just the residents in the high street. I've lived in Epping my whole life, and the message from most people is they want the hotel closed. They're worried and concerned about what the hotel means for local people. I would say a lot of people didn't like the disruption which came from the protest and the fact that Epping has become in the spotlight. But, you know, we've as a council and as a local councillor, we've tried to fight this in the best way we possibly can, and today is great news.
OK, well, thanks for joining us, Holly Whitbread, and perhaps now go and enjoy a glass of something fizzy and cold. Pleasure to have your company. Thank you.
Have you had a random call lately from a strange number, maybe trying to sell you something or even scam you? If so, your info could be out there. That's because of data brokers, shady companies that scrape the internet for your personal details and sell them to marketers or even scammers. These days, scammers can even use AI to mimic your friends' voices and trick you into sending money. It's not just annoying. Data brokers often target vulnerable people with high-interest loans or sketchy offers. But there is a solution. Incogni, the sponsor of this video. Incogni contacts data brokers on your behalf and requests your info be deleted from their databases. And because your data can keep popping up, Incogni keeps sending removal requests to make sure it stays gone. They've just launched a new unlimited plan with custom removals. If you find your info on a weird website, just send them the link and their privacy team will work to get it taken down. Getting started is easy. Hit the link in the description, create your account and let Incogni handle the rest. It's risk-free for 30 days and you'll get 60% off an annual plan with the code GBNews. Take back control of your data with Incogni.
The people of Epping have won, at least temporarily, but what happens next? Well, tell us what might happen next. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the barrister and the writer Steven Barrett. Steven, always a pleasure to have your company as well. Let's start with, frankly, utter farce at the High Court earlier on. The Home Office, this 11th hour interjection was thrown out by the judge, and you might say fittingly.
Yes, so I want to be very clear, Martin. Our legal system is fat and absolutely bloated, and as a result, it sort of doesn't really work. It's copied on a European model, and the Europeans can make it work because they have a pet court that will do as they're told. We have really good judges who just apply the rules, and what the government had not realised is that actually they were breaking planning rules by filling all these hotels with migrants. And that's what this has confirmed. And if one hotel in Epping is breaking the law by filling it with migrants, then, Martin, I don't know if the government's sitting down while it hears this, but every hotel is.
So, Steven Barrett, you're saying on GB News Tonight, this is the beginning of a chain reaction the government has no control over.
Yes, and I'm going to step into the fray, Martin. I don't normally like to. I'm quite an inactive type of person. But I'm going to launch a campaign to raise funds to allow people who in their locale wish to bring these challenges, because not everybody will have a councillor like Holly Whitbread. Okay, not everybody will be blessed with Epping Council. There are councils who will not challenge the migrant hotels, and that's not fair to any of us. It's a point I like to make really vociferously, Martin. We are a multi-ethnic country already. This was never about race. This is about safety, and every single one of us, every single British citizen is entitled to safety. And so I will start this. I don't want to be accused of, profiting from this or benefiting or anything else. So I have to work it out. But it's about time we replicated their model. Those councillors, a district council in Essex has stumbled across a genius solution in our fat and bloated legal system. And one of our High Court judges, the judges I do praise, by the way, Martin, they have upheld the law. They've not behaved like a pet court. They're not some kept little servant or slave of the government that has to do as it's told. They actually apply the law. And the government made all these laws. Well, it's made a bloated planning regime. We all know this from the Bat Bridge. Do you remember that with HS2 or anything else? Well, by their, what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. And they have hoisted themselves on their own petard here, because quite clearly, Martin, just to be absolutely clear on this, what this legal point is, a hotel is a place where people come and stay for short periods of time and is open to all the public to book. We have, by the way, equality laws, meaning that they have to be open to all of us. Literally, they can't discriminate against you because you're very tall or me because I'm bisexual. They have to let us all come and stay for a short period of time. Well, none of these things do this. They've changed them with a click of their fingers. They've changed them into residential accommodation blocks. Well, they can't do that. And that's basically what's happening.
Steven Barrett, you sound like a coiled cobra. And to quote Baldrick, it sounds like you have a cunning plan. I look forward to getting you on the show again in the future to feel the full details of that. Steven Barrett, beautiful stuff.